You know, Mr. and Mrs. Reeves are from Wales. Actually, Mr. Reeves was born in England, but he grew up in Wales. They moved there when he was just 2 years old, and he started working then in the rolling mill there with his father and his brother. Do you know he started working at the age of 10? Have you men, did you start working that early at the age of 10? Oh, such hard work he did. So Mr. Reeves knew all about hard work before he came here to the United States. And Mrs. Reeves, she used to say, her and Mr. Reeves, they are living the American dream. They came over here from Wales with not very much, and now look what they have. They have this beautiful home and a lovely family, and they are so very good to us. And when I started working, my mother said to me, do you know, with you working in that house, you're working for a family that knows what it's like to have nothing and now has all of this wonderful things. How lucky for you to get to work for them. And they have been so very good to us. Oh, Mrs. Reeves, she's such a lovely lady. Now, normally this is a room that I need to get finished the first thing in the morning. Mrs. Evans, do you know her? She is the head housekeeper. Oh, she is like Mrs. Reeves' right hand. She seems to know what Mrs. Reeves wants before she even asks her. It's amazing the relationship that the mistress has with her head housekeeper. And Mrs. Evans says to me, it's very important. This room is very important to Mrs. Reeves. She loves to come in here. She does not care so much for the parlor. She thinks it's a very stuffy room. She thinks this is much more welcoming, and she enjoys it. And of course the daughters can play the piano, so she enjoys to come in here and listen to music. And they spend their evenings in here. So Mrs. Evans says, I must always keep this room very tidy. And of course we never know when somebody might come knocking at the door, and she might be entertaining in here. And to tell you the truth, I don't know about this piano. It's an 1875 Hazelton, and you know it was made right here in New Philadelphia. But oh my goodness, does it attract dust. And we're always having to have a piano tuner here. It does not keep tune as well as I think that it should, but you know, what do I know about music? I mean, the Welsh people, they very much enjoyed their music. By Mr. Reeves' brother, Mr. Jabez, that's how he met his future wife, Miss Mary Ann. They were at a singing. Oh, like I said, they very much enjoy their music. And it's such a nice time. So I must always keep this room prepared. Because I said, Mrs. Evans says it's very important. And Mrs. Evans said, a good maid is never seen or never heard. She goes about her chores and gets them done quickly. And I have a lot of different things that I do. I come here early morning. I'm usually here before 6, and then I'm here till after dinner. Well, of course, tonight, with this being the party, I'll be here a lot later. And Walter will probably walk me home. I live right down here in Tin Town. You know, Mr. Reeves, he built houses for us. My husband works back at the mill, and he provided a home for us. So it's not very far, but I don't walk home after dark. Walter, he's the hostler. He takes care of the horses. He also lives over in the carriage house. He will walk me home tonight. You know, there was a few years ago that there wasn't very much work back here at the mill. But Mr. Reeves, he made sure that we did not go without. We had plenty of heat and plenty of food. Why, he even gives some of the men a broom and said, go out here and sweep the street. The street did not need swept, but that was a way to pay the men. Mr. Reeves would make sure his men were taken care of, but he did not just hand out the money. But he was a very fair man, and he took care of everyone, and that's wonderful. And Mrs. Reeves, too, she just takes very good care of us. And it's a great joy to work in this house. Mrs. Evans, she is a wonderful lady. She is the only one that lives in here. And she is in charge of all of the maids and gives us all of our chores of what we need to do when we get here. And of course, as I said, this is the room that I must prepare the first thing in the morning. Now I will have to go in and check the dining room now and make sure everything is okay for dinner this evening. Walter had to take me down to the store this morning. I had too much to do, so he took me in the wagon. I went down to Roush's. Have you shopped at Roush's grocery store? Oh, it's just a lovely store. I do enjoy going there. And I'm glad Walter was available to take me in the wagon this morning. Now, you all came in wagons this morning? Yes, well, I'm sure Walter's quite busy now taking care of your wagons and your horses. He's a very nice young gentleman, and I know Mr. Reeves is very happy with him. And we just do enjoy working here. Mrs. Evans has been here quite a long time. She's been here, I think, over 10 years. She doesn't ever talk about her family, but she very much feels this is her family. Someday I would like to be head housekeeper. Not that I want anything to happen to Mrs. Evans. Oh, I love her very much. But wouldn't it be something to be in charge of this house and have young ladies underneath me? I'm sure I could not do as good a job as what Mrs. Evans has done. Oh, she's so very good to all of us. Shall I play the Regina for you? Do you have a Regina in your house? Oh, it's one of Mrs. Reeves' favorite. Oh, the girls, they make fun of their mother. They're like, Mother, your Regina is so old-fashioned. The Edison, that is the thing now. Now, we do have an Edison. The girls have one in their sitting room. But Mrs. Evans, she very much enjoys, or Mrs. Reeves very much enjoys listening to the Regina. And to tell you the truth, so do I. I think it's a very nice instrument. It has such beautiful sound to it. So how nice of them to have such lovely things here to provide music, not only for the family, but also for their guests.